You cannot afford to miss a single moment of the next hour. Get ready to have your ideas about sexuality, love, and relationships blown wide open. It's time to get educated, entertained, and enlightened, as well as sexually empowered. You have now tuned into the Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show. Now, here's your host, Tanya Diamond.
And just in time, my co-host as well. I was sitting here by myself going,
happy to be
sitting here by myself going, oh, yeah, I've done this whole solo thing before, and Ian would have kept me company anyway, so we would have just had some kind of talk about hot young men and sex or something like that. Yeah. So, anyway, we are here. I am here, even though I can't hear Joshua. I hope he did turn his microphone.
Hear me?
There you are.
Am I here?
Yeah, I think he's here. And I'm looking over. Wow, you brought food.
I was delayed by chocolate.
Uh-oh.
Forgive me.
Delayed by chocolate.
I was having a tantric moment.
Uh-oh, which I can't eat, but hopefully you're going to share your water with me because there's no water here.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. So, I'm always excited about life. We know that. But
Yes,
guess why I'm like really excited?
Oh my God.
Look.
You didn't prepare me. It's a good thing I sat down.
Now see.
I am looking across the table here. And Tanya.
I'm not naked.
Not. Well, I got to breathe here for a moment. She hasn't put the shade down behind her so I can still see myself in the reflection. But Tanya is holding up the beloved prize of her affection, the book.
Dun, 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 dun,
the title, Beyond Sex, Tantra. And it is beautiful. The graphic, I love it. I did not expect that it would be right here, held in front of my face. And wow, Tanya, I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about all this. So you guys, you didn't get to see all this because all you could do is hear it. But hopefully you heard how excited we were. I am holding right here a copy of my brand new book, Beyond Sex, Tantra. And not only did I write this book and format this book. But Max and I created the cover graphic design for this book.
Full-on publishing right there.
Full-on publishing. And Modern Tantra Press now exists.
Modern Tantra Press.
Right. So now we are actually publishers as well.
So wait, you're saying that if I had a book that I thought Modern Tantra Press could publish it for me?
Yes, indeed. And not only that, we can provide all sorts of good things like cover design ideas and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, This is a fairly, this is a fairly breathtaking book. We've kind of, like Tantra, we've kind of bent some of the rules in book design of this genre. And, Beyond Sex Tantra, what section do you think that would end up in?
Beyond Sex Tantra? Well, if it's beyond sex, then it's not actually in the sex section. Would it be in the self-help section?
Spirituality. Relationship. Business.
So would there
sex,
be a couple of those in each one of those sections?
If somebody were smart.
Wow.
Because this book ranges.
Personally, I was going to say, if this is in any of the premier bookstores, it should actually be in that table when you walk in. Front. Because it has your name and it's your book. So when you walk in the front doors of said cafe or bookstore, it certainly should be on that, premiere. We're so excited. She's coming to talk.
Yeah, sitting right up like that.
Exactly.
Looking all fine.
That's what I'm thinking.
Anyway, yeah, so it's here, and I'm excited, and it's here. And these are special copies, by the way, these first copies. Note they have no ISBN number in the back. No ISBN,
so that's the limited edition.
This is the limited edition, and guess what? It's even fancier. The first paragraph of my foreword is missing out of this book.
Really? What does that mean?
He's like, he wants it signed. Ian's like, sign it. Sign it. So these books that were published for the Women of Wisdom conference that I'm speaking at this weekend will have some very special bookmark. And the bookmark will contain the first paragraph of the foreword.
The bookmark?
Yeah.
But wait a minute. That first paragraph of the foreword is not just any paragraph.
No, it's not.
You shared it with us. Well, you've shared it with us a long time ago, but in the rewriting and reformatting of the book as it's evolved over the time, that first paragraph is powerful.
Yes,
it's I think one of the most beautiful definitions of not just Tantra, but a way that a person could choose to live.
Yes.
And so that bookmark is, I personally, it would be in my refrigerator. It would be in my car.
Yeah.
So that bookmark might have a hard time finding the book. I might need more than one.
You actually have a listener in the chat room asking how she can get the book.
You want to know how you can get the book?
She's in Pennsylvania, wants to know.
She's in Pennsylvania. Well, let me tell you, to get the book, now, we have to find out from her, though, whether or not, and I don't know how to get into the chat room here, whether or not she wants this special limited edition,
right,
or she wants the now rectified copy, because the rectified copy, the version that would have the forward in it, you would go to learning-tantra.com/beyond-sex-tantra.html. So that's learningtantra.com/ capital Beyond,
okay,
dash capital Sex, just the first word, letter,
right, capital
dash,
S,
yeah, capital T for Tantra, .html, or even quicker or easier with a lot of less stuff going on like that is go to any page on learningtantra.com. Look on the left hand side, there'll be a little book, you'll see it, it'll say click here, and boom, you'll be right there at the
so is it actually available right now?
It is available.
Or is there a launch date?
It is available now. There is a launch date. There is a big launch date coming up. But right now, if you cannot wait, it is also available now. So,
and thank you so much, listener in Pennsylvania.
I know.
We love that you're there.
I know.
And listening.
Yeah, how excited that. And if you want one of these limited, these limited editions, and you say to me, you email me and say, I want one of those limited editions, then I'll autograph it for you. And send
I might
it to
see
you.
if I can pilfer the one that's in the studio now. That way I could say I have the limited stolen edition.
The limited stolen.
The one that disappeared during that mysterious radio show where Josh showed up with chocolate in hand.
There's something about there's more than just, I wrote a book, right? Great, I wrote a book and fine. But really, the circumstances around writing this book are pretty fascinating.
Tell me about that.
And they really go to the, how we feel about ourselves, the circumstances that we have in life. You know how sometimes you're doing something and it's not working out the way you think it's supposed to?
Mm-hmm.
And then, lo and behold, you find out later that it actually was supposed to work out that way?
You mean it turns out even better?
It turns out even better. This book is one of those stories, because I was working with a woman who was going to be publishing this book and we've talked about this on the radio before, a series of this book and all of that. And that didn't come through very well. And I took control at some point and said, no, I'm kind of done. And
taking my book back.
Yeah. And so basically I jumped in there and grabbed the book. And like I said, within less than a week, Max and I created the cover format, did everything, and got it published.
Within less than a week?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys rock.
So, but what I want to say about that is, not just, wow, how cool are we, but more importantly, what is it in your life that you have been contemplating and thinking about that you haven't done, or that you've wanted to do and you're not doing, and you think, oh my God, it's going to take forever. Now, I wrote this book in 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Right. I wrote the book in 6 weeks, and then we published graphic and whatever in under a week. So, even though it didn't happen
concurrently. Well, now wait a minute. You wrote the book in 6 weeks. You spent a lifetime.
Well, that's why I could write the book in 6 weeks.
What that book is, just the beginning.
Right.
Of putting down on paper.
Yeah. So what is Beyond Sex Tantra? Do you have any idea?
Well, we were talking last night, so I kind of have an idea, though I can try to embarrass myself and
open, just flip through and read something and see what happens.
Well, so you want to read a paragraph? Our physical movement is something that has fallen by the wayside in modern times. Sure, a lot of us work out. We move our bodies from place to place as we walk to our cars, to commute, to our jobs. We might even be more conscious and ride a bike for transportation. Perhaps you're a dancer or thinking right now, hey, I move, I dance. But the truth is, most people don't move for the pure joy of moving. once they pass the age of 5, wow, motion of joy and spontaneity are a thing long gone, replaced by systematic and rigid movements, a little movement at all, or little movement at all. We move our bodies in machines and forms. These forms or positions were created by someone else and choreographed for our bodies, for bodies that might live in a different rhythm than ours. Either way, we aren't moving in accordance to our own feelings and desires. We are not in free expression, abandoned to the movement and that experience.
So that's just a little bit of what is in Beyond Sex Tantra. Basically, this is a book that really is about, well, it says right here, well, let's just say, this book is for anyone and everyone looking to take life from mere existence to living in full human potential. Right.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah, that's good. And apparently I'm bridging the gap between the woo-woo and the practical understanding and implementation of spiritual awakening. So there it is. It's a book.
You've always bridged that gap. You take people who, would run screaming from woo-woo, and you sometimes take them by the hand, sometimes take them by the neck, and you say, look, this is real and it's important. But at the same time, you might take the person who's way woo-woo by the hand or by the neck,
right,
and say, get grounded, check this out.
Right.
Here's real life.
Yeah. I like this. This guy on the chat room says, Tantra is for geeks too. And I have to tell you, I am a geek. So
we are geeks. I mean, to geek out on life, yeah.
It's all good. Yes, it is. So the exciting part, doing this, creating this, having this this fruition of the book that I have been told, people have been telling me I should write a book my entire life. I think they were talking about my life, however.
Oh, okay.
Because that's another book. And I've already started on book 2 and 3.
Excellent.
So you will see more coming from me. Yeah. Well, now that I've got this going on here.
Got the book bug.
I've got the book bug. It's like, well, look, I could write. I
think I'll write a book today.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, let's take a look. Let's take a look here, because you're wondering, this book. So, by the way, if you're listening now, listen up. If you email me at and you can go to learningtantra.com and hit the contact button, and it'll give you my email address. So if you go to learningtantra.com, hit the contact button, and email me your name and say, I'd like to be entered in the drawing to win a book. I will give away 3 books for anybody that emails me in the next 48 hours.
Right.
And today is Thursday. So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So by Saturday evening, enter into the drawing. Just go to learningtantra.com, click contact, and send me your, I really want your book, email. And I'll enter you in a drawing to get an autographed copy of the special
one of the limited editions.
Yeah, the limited special edition. Right.
Now, will all the books have that special page marker, bookmark?
We're actually talking about doing that. Yes.
Because really, that first. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we are talking about doing that. The other thing, the other really groovy thing.
Yes.
Is this book comes with a DVD.
What? Get out!
I kid you not. It comes with a DVD. Tantra as a Lifestyle. And it's me,
right, you,
me talking about a DVD about me talking and discussing Tantra as a lifestyle. And so it's not the same material as the book. It's something completely different, but it's my bonus gift.
Awesome.
Out there. So there you go. How exciting is that? A book and a DVD. We rock. Special edition and all.
Special edition and all.
How am I going to do that? I'm a little bit nervous.
About what?
Autographing.
How many are you going to autograph?
I don't know. I'm going to the Women of Wisdom tomorrow, on Saturday from 1:30 to 4:30.
You know your signature, right?
No, I don't know. No. Because, when you have you seen my signature?
Well, didn't we talk about this a couple of months ago?
Did we?
You said, Josh, I am busting out in fame, and I am launching myself into a whole new realm this year of reaching people and changing their lives. I need a signature.
Right. Am I going to get a body double to sign for me? I'm going to find. That's it. So if
somebody
you or
else
somebody
has to
else,
sign.
so you'll stand behind me and you'll reach your arm around me, and you'll create this. I
don't know how Max would feel about me reaching around you.
Do you have great handwriting?
I have great hands.
Okay, no. See, I need somebody with great handwriting.
I can't. My own signature has 3 variations.
Well, see, and mine looks like one word, just one illegible word.
Hey, well, I've seen your, the
the big T. See, that's...
Has it changed?
Well, no, I mean, so anyway, maybe I need a stamp. So then I can write to whatever, and then I can just stamp the sucker, and then it would look beautiful. And then you can
they have computer programs nowadays that you do your signature and it does it for you.
I know.
But that wouldn't be your movement on the page.
I know, but no, the rest of it would. To so and so. Hope you can read this. Tanya, my signature. That is
not really signed.
So anyway, these are talk about wow. The world is in crisis, and my biggest problem is
I don't know how I want to sign my name this week.
How am I going to autograph my book?
Hey, but that would be great because if it changes, stop it right now.
Oh yeah. See, isn't that a limiting belief? So last night, we talk about fun with the book. Yeah, there's a drawing. Go to learningtantra.com, go to contact, send me an email, say I want to be in the drawing for your free book, and I will give 3 books autographed, special edition books.
What if millions of people send you an email?
Well, then it'll be your chances of winning are 3 in a million.
If that should happen, I'll kick in a book. Okay. I'll pull something off my shelf.
Okay, excellent.
Signed by Josh, someone else's book.
Though. There we go. Yeah, somebody else's book signed by Josh. It'll all be good. It'll be crazy in my mailbox.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't the point, was it?
No. All right, so last night, we have our team meeting, right? Our business meeting, team meeting and stuff.
Weekly meeting.
Last night, I pulled out some stops.
You pulled out some of that stuff.
I pulled out some of the voodoo that my inner circle program people get.
Coaching.
Yeah.
Serious coaching.
And we kind of did a little thing on beliefs.
That was fun.
Well, it was fun.
For me.
Joshua had fun. There were tears. People were crying. People were mad at me. It was real interesting in the team. So, what do you believe? And what did I ask? I asked, write down 3 beliefs you have,
beliefs
that aren't serving you anymore.
Right.
3 beliefs you have that, aren't serving you. This guy's now asking me, should we email our contact info, address, etc. in the email for the drawing? No, just as long as I have your email address.
The email address is the primary thing.
Right. I'll email you and said you win, and then I'll get your contact info. So we'll just make it easy.
And they should have learningtantra.com in there so that it doesn't get stuck in their junk mail if you respond back.
Well, yeah, they should be looking in their junk mail if they want to, because if they don't, then wow, they just miss out.
Well, make sure you can receive an email back, but just your email address.
Yep, is good enough.
We'll be good. We'll
send
reply.
me the goods now. Enter me in the drawing. Send me the goods.
Right.
Yeah. So your beliefs, 3 beliefs that no longer serve you. 3 beliefs that you have that aren't serving you. And so everybody wrote those down. And then basically I asked questions like, tell me what your first one is. And what was yours?
I'm on the spot. What was my first one? You did such a thorough job of cleansing my mind of it, I can't remember it.
How awesome is that?
Yeah.
Now, it came easily to you yesterday. You sat down and you wrote it. And now you're going,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And today's been a phenomenal day in contrast.
Right. You see, so this stuff works. The fact that he can't actually remember what he believes about this thing, do you remember any of them?
No, I don't know how to make money. Was one of them.
Was that really one of them?
We didn't get that far down.
Oh, okay, we didn't get that far.
So that's why I remember.
So we didn't remember. So the ones that we worked on, he's not remembering very much.
Well, I can't. The tasks that I need to do in order to be successful,
right?
I can't do.
Really?
No. Oh, you're gonna. Not necessarily.
Do you believe that?
I did before.
So you're saying that you don't ever make any money? That's
not true.
Wow. So
I just lied to myself.
So your belief isn't true.
So my belief is fallible.
Right. Isn't that amazing? So while you're out there, on your treadmill or whatever you're doing, listening to me on your, think about it. Like, what are your beliefs that keep you stuck? What are your beliefs that hold you back? And how are they really, really beliefs?
Question it.
Are they true?
Question it. Write it down.
And then look at it and go, well, Is that true?
Is that true about everything?
Right. I mean, we make this blanket statement. Is it true?
Is it true forever?
Probably not. And you're probably going to find. So we did this pretty powerful ritual around, I had, 5 of you guys in there doing this. And like I said, a couple of people got angry at me because I was questioning them. And they're
really
like, well, that's pushing. I'm pushing it.
Really pushing.
And it's like, no. And then all of us, but at the end, what happened is as these things melted away, and I had everybody write down, their beliefs, and then go back and look at them after we deconstructed them and see what they saw.
Now back up. When you say deconstructed them, can you explain that?
Yeah, basically I took everybody through exercises that, first of all, questioned that belief. How did they believe it? How is that true? Well, it's not true. Then why do you believe it? How is it a belief if it's not even true? And basically just, created a kind of mind bender, shall we say.
A little confusion.
Yeah, a little confusion, mind bender around the whole thing. And then the next thing we know, I'm asking people, so take a look and see now, what do you see when you look at your beliefs?
What do we see or what do we feel?
What do you see first?
What do we see? Okay.
And so there were words that came up for everybody. Like somebody said anger, frustration, rebellion, looking at the common key or the theme in all of the ones that you didn't believe. And different people had different things. And it was like, wow. Okay, now how do you feel about that? And what happened is we found out that most of what we were writing down was actually we were writing down of how we internally felt that was being projected out. Right? And so the end result is you wrap that around and you find out exactly what your core emotion is most of the time. And people were pretty shocked, weren't they?
Yeah, to feel the core of it.
Yeah. Sadness, depression, numbness, fear, abandonment, frustration. I mean, there was, but to actually sit then with a group of people and actually admit, oh my gosh, I spend so much energy trying to avoid being depressed or trying to avoid being numb or whatever. All the energy that goes into masking those feelings, those authentic feelings. And so everybody was pretty shook for a little while. I mean, the energy just tanked out, Well,
the energy was heavy.
Right.
People, which I commend you for the ability to navigate us to that place.
And there they were, just kind of like, like all hope had been taken, and they were at the bottom of how they could feel.
Right.
And then we brought it back together. Let it be authentic. Feel your feeling. Really feel it.
You mean as a good adult? As a good man? I shouldn't bury it?
No.
Hide it?
No.
Stifle it?
No. And what happens when you stepped into that space of actually feeling it without trying to push it aside?
It actually stops hurting.
Yeah.
Whatever the emotional hurt or, that feeling, constriction in the throat or the heart, or the, I'm not going to go there. And so we kind of emotionally turn around and put it to our back, but, feeling like it's always over our shoulder. When we actually face it, embrace it, feel it, I don't know, there was a freedom to it, even though we were feeling it.
Yeah. So the freedom, everybody looked relieved. So back in the chat room here, we got somebody going, oh, he's like, I totally, what we got? I totally want an autograph if I win. Okay, cool. Even if though I'm, autographly challenged.
Right.
And then I have a limiting belief. This is in the chat room. Sometimes I have trouble combining love with sex when I'm in need of compassionate love, not erotic love. Yeah. So a lot of people are in that position.
Absolutely. I'm raising my hand.
Yeah. A lot of people are in that. And, part of the problem with that is we kind of combine it and kind of separate it in, how we're raised. Love is that fairy tale. And sex is something that, people want, or if, guys are supposed to go get them some, which has nothing to do with love, go out and get you some.
Right.
Women are supposed to hold out.
I loved every experience I had. No, that's not what you mean, huh?
No. Women, of course, were like going, oh my gosh, I'm holding out for that fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
So women want the romance, men want the sex, when actuality, everybody wants both. But you know what? If you don't have a healthy role model of what that looks like, if your parents were not openly loving and affectionate, and yet you knew there was a sexual charge between them, it's kind of hard. Now, if there was too much of a sexual charge, which you've talked about, then it's confusing too, because then everything's about sex.
Mm-hmm. Even before you have words for it, you growing up with that imprint.
Yeah.
And then as an adult, everything has that filter over it.
Right. So what are our filters? Love and sex. They're two separate things.
Well, also don't, oftentimes girls grow up and, women that in order to receive love, they have to give sex.
Right. Because men generally don't fall in love until after they've had sex. Mm-hmm. And women don't need sex to actually fall in love. Mm-hmm. And so it's a little bit confusing for everybody. I think the thing is that if we go back to limiting belief, what is loving sex?
Sex.
Most people are just trying to get off. If all you're trying to do is get off, you've just basically boiled sex down to sex without love. That's getting off. That's a physical experience. Love is a physical experience as well, but it's an emotional component as well. So most people are just getting off and then just, wondering, why do I feel empty? Why do I feel this? So I guess she says in here, it's like love is corrupted by sex. Well, not at all. No. Love isn't corrupted by sex, and sex isn't corrupted by love.
People have confused and crossed them.
Right. You can combine the two, but you can't do it generally in a one-night stand. You can't do it unless both people are willing to be vulnerable and open, and it doesn't look like banging. That's the whole thing. People are like, oh, I'm having this great sex. It's this wild, crazy, everybody's, high arousal and stuff. But where's the heart? And the woman's saying, I love you, trying to throw it out there. But, where's the connection?
Right. Deepening the connection.
To that stillness.
Yeah.
Because it's in the stillness that you can connect to the vulnerability. You can connect to the kindness and the compassion that is love. She's saying, for me, at times, too much exposure to erotic material and biases. Well, first of all, everybody should get off porn. Porn is destroying most of our sex lives. We don't realize it, even our sex life with ourselves, because what's happening, and I write about this in the book, is that when you need something else to feel aroused, you stop feeling your own arousal. So most people are wandering around using porn, and if I tell them you need to take the 21-day porn challenge, that means get off porn for 21 days, freak out when they say, but I can't get aroused.
Can't get aroused.
Right. It's like, well, unless I have the porn or unless I have something to look at or something to read or something to fantasize, I can't get aroused.
Try not touching porn and try not touching yourself for a few days. You get aroused.
Absolutely not. Once you create that endorphin,
they've created the neural pathway.
Right, and the endorphins and all the rest of that and tied it into the porn, then it's really difficult to go back to learning how to find your own arousal. And we desperately need to do that.
I was looking at that concept this week. I don't look at porn, but I was saying, what do I do? I'm on this celibacy experiment. What do I do? What's my trigger? And what I realized is, in order to feel a certain way, I look for certain triggers. So some people go to the office and they need coffee to wake up. They need coffee after lunch. They need coffee at 3 o'clock. They need coffee to go
home. Coffee
sugar.
Or sugar.
And that's what allows them to be awake.
Right.
Okay. And to feel alert, to feel like I'm on the hunt, to feel like I'm awake. I'm driving down the road, and if I see, a woman in another car that might be intriguing, I want to see her face. I'm like, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for sex. Why am I looking?
You're looking
what
for the
is
high.
That giving me? I'm looking for the neurological high that I get from seeing someone that I'd be attracted to.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's my porn. Darn it. I've got to stop looking.
right?
As people.
Yeah. Well, or you have to find out in the need, like I'm looking, and it's not because, I'm just a visual creature and I'm looking. It's because I'm trying to get a high.
I'm fulfilling a need that's a result of a lack somewhere else.
Right. So, well, good for you, Joshua. That's definitely a big thing to look into and see. I know. Well, remember I told you this whole celibacy thing was going to be peeling the layers of the onion, right?
I am so into it.
And it's like, oh, okay, now I've got this, and oh, okay, I think I get it. And then it's like, oh, well, no, I guess I don't know. I guess I don't get it.
More layers.
Well, we are going to go ahead and take a short break, or however long the break that we usually take is. And we will be back in just a minute. I have to caress my book on the break.
When you say caress.
I'm too sexy for your party. Too sexy for your party. The way I'm disco dancing. I'm a model. You know what I mean? And I do my little turn on the catwalk.
Are you one of the 40 million sexless couples in the U.S.? Are you wondering why having sex leaves you feeling lonely? Are you suffering from the myths of sexual dysfunction? Do you know in your heart that there has to be more than what you're currently getting out of making love? To rid yourself of sexual ignorance, get more out of your lovemaking, and find out more about spiritual sexual connection, then you need to check out www.thetantrateacher.com to receive your free copy of the ebook called Secrets of the Tantra Teacher. Don't suffer another minute without the sexual loving and ecstatic bliss you were born to receive. Get to www.thetantrateacher.com right now. That's www.thetantrateacher.com.
Did you know that you can rate this show on iTunes? The show you're listening to right now. It's true. You can leave your thoughts about the show, the topic, the guest. You can even leave a suggestion. Then, before you leave, rate the show. The hosts love hearing from you, so next time you download this show from iTunes, leave your thoughts and rate the show, for the host and for others.
Is your sex life non-existent? Do sexual dysfunctions leave you soft? Is internet porn getting more than you are? Or are you paying more attention to porn than your partner? Have you tried talk therapy and it got you nowhere? You are not alone. You can be freed from sexual shame, guilt, and dissatisfaction. A visit to the Tantra Teacher is in order. Call now and mention you heard the Tantra Teacher on the radio and get a very special offer. Stop waiting for a miracle and call right now. 206-276-2735. Phone consultations or in person will get you the information you need to be successful in your love life. But you have to call now. 206-276-2735. Stop making excuses. Call the Tantra Teacher. 206-276-2735.
I'm too sexy for your party. Too sexy for your party. The way I'm disco dancing.
Caressing my butt. It's textured,
It is. Wait, Tanya.
Yeah, it's got.
May I feel your book?
Yes, it has some texture on it.
Oh, wow! It's not just gloss.
No, and it's not glossy. It's matte. It's actually the next printing will be in glossy.
Wow, that does have texture. It's
texture
subtle.
On the book.
It's
subtle texture.
subtle.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's see.
A little more texture on the backside.
Yes. My daughter said that about my butt. Yeah. So our chat room person is saying here, in my case, I'm in a 3-year relationship with a wonderful person, but I'm afraid our sex is boring for him because he looks at porn where I avoid it, though I'm not against it. We should be against it. Not only because, So here's the deal. My case, 3-year relationship, wonderful person, afraid our sex is boring for him because he looks at porn. First of all, most sex is not boring for men. Sex is like pizza. Okay, it's pretty good. Now
I could have it hot. I could have it cold. I could have it with mushrooms.
Right, exactly. He's looking at porn probably because he's addicted to porn. Porn creates a high that having sex with a real person does not. And once you trigger into it, it's actually like heroin. Mm-hmm. And once you get involved in that and you get triggered into that, it's really, really tough. And it has nothing to do with, here, she's saying fear of comparison, like those girls have better bodies or perform better. Mm-hmm. Generally, it doesn't have anything to do with that, except that once the neural pathway is formed to get off to a certain visual image, it does become a problem. Mm-hmm. And men can become more dissatisfied with what's real than what is on a screen. Mm-hmm. So she's just saying, must be her self-image. He never complains. I was willing to be with her. I just feel strange, like the residual effect of his behavior on our intimacy. Well, yes, of course, because people that are addicted to porn generally don't understand intimacy. Because if you're into intimacy, you don't want to do that on the screen because there's no intimacy involved in that. So, this is now, let me be fair to this guy too, because quite frankly, it's normal. It's not right. It's normal. Mm-hmm. So, you think about that. Porn addiction is the biggest sexual addiction on the planet. And
a clarification point, as I've heard Tanya talk about this over time, we're not even going to the topic or issue of is porn right or wrong in the sense of should a guy be looking at nudity? Should a guy be checking the stuff out? It's looking at the neurological pathways, what it does to the brain, just like an addictive drug that becomes an addiction. Necessary, can't live without it, and it's a distraction and a draw of energy, and it detracts from other forms of connection.
Well, and the worst part being is that men generally ejaculate when they do porn, and we've talked about this over and over again, that once men ejaculate, they lose their energy and their keenness for anybody they're with in general. Right. So you're getting ripped off, basically, because, if he's spending screen time, even though he's with you, there's still those things missing. It has nothing to do with what you look like generally. It has nothing to do with how you perform. Addictions are like that. So, you could ask him, hey, when you get this book, it's got the chapter.
Right.
The chapter, why porn is destroying your life. It talks about the chemistry of that and what's actually going on.
That's a great asset, because to have you explain it to a guy versus the other half of a relationship to explain it.
Yeah.
It's such a loaded topic.
Yeah, it is. Because, guys get the whole thing, oh, no, this is normal. Everybody does it. Well, just because everybody's doing it doesn't actually make it normal or make it okay or make it anything other than a bunch of people doing it. He's laughing. She's laughing here. Pizza at my pizza thing, So anyway, and of course, younger and younger men now are growing up on this like really early ages. It's become a worse problem than ever before. So right out there, everybody, men, women, you're hearing me here. Porn's got to go. Porn has to go. 1, because it becomes a very addictive thing. Number 2, because you stop feeling your own arousal in your body. You learn how to disconnect and look for that high. And most of the time they can't get it just out of sex with a normal person or their regular person, which is why they keep going back to the porn. Now, women have to understand it has nothing to do with dissatisfaction of your body or your sex life or anything like that. It's just like saying, well, he keeps smoking.
Right. Right.
He must not like my body. He's out there smoking. And one has nothing to do with the other. It is true that certainly, usually it's a medication. People are amped, hyped out, stressed out, anxious. When we did our work last night, we found out how many in the room were actually anxious, hiding anxiety, running current underneath.
Right.
And so a lot of times men use ejaculation to medicate, and because it crashes them.
Right.
And so that's...
Well, it does something with the buildup of energy for stress or whatever the emotional symptom is.
Yep. Or fear of intimacy. Go use porn, medicate, lose the fear for a while. Yeah. Anyway, it's. But
you end up dulling the vitality. As a man, to have vitality, to have a healthy kind of machismo and fervor. You know, it's much more sexy for a woman to have a man be full of his energy and then turn and want her versus spilling the energy.
Yep. And that's what we call it, spilling.
Or hemorrhaging. In
hemorrhaging, yeah, that's more like hemorrhaging the energy. So in chapter 2 here, we have beliefs are holding you back, reprogramming your brain. So it is belief, trust or confidence, conviction or opinion, something believed or accepted as true is what beliefs actually mean. So every one of these chapters, I have the little definition there. The beliefs that we have define how we live. We may think that our circumstances create our life, but that's just a small part of the picture. Our circumstances are caused by beliefs about ourselves and life, and those beliefs then impact our decisions. The outcome of our decisions create our circumstances. So we can see, beliefs come from our programming, from our parents, and society is instilled upon us. We're born to absorb information, and we do so from the time we're in the womb. We absorb our parents' words, facial expressions, their gestures, their feelings. We never question our beliefs as a rule. We just go about living our lives, believing what we believe, and being stunned that our lives are turning out like they do. In a sense, we're victims of our own belief systems. So that's just a little bit there. She's saying that's funny. He smokes too. You're just as easily addicted to things, online gaming and that sort. Yes. So what you have here is a man who's very afraid. Fear is a number one rule. He probably has some anger issues too that flare up. And smoking causes a disconnect in the brain so that you don't feel as much emotionally. So yes, basically, yeah. So if even a 3-year relationship with this guy, don't get married. That's what I have to say at this point. Don't. This is not a man to marry until he figures out all of this stuff. Because unfortunately, right now it's mostly out of his control, and it's not really going to be helpful coming from you to tell him these things. Right, so that's something you should understand. And even if he is a wonderful person, because a lot of wonderful people have really, really bad habits and bad programming. And I know because, I used to be with a few, one or two, one I'm thinking about in particular. Basically, until they decide that they really need to get help and need to clean things up, they just won't. And all the harping, nagging, loving, all of that stuff won't help. So
when someone else is telling you need to get your life together, and you think you have your life together, but you're just doing some things that everybody does, smoking, drinking, porn, you have to come to it yourself. You have to decide, I have higher expectations for myself, so what do I need to do? And that's a tall order. I mean, we're asking men and women, but we're talking about a man right now. We have a high expectation, but that's what we need to have better relationships.
Well, yeah, without it, it's just not going to fly. So the book really takes 26 points or 26, what would I call those? 26 aspects of Tantra.
Facets?
Aspects, facets, 26 chapters here about the things that you can do with how-tos, by the way. So really? Not only is it like you read in there, it's a quick read. It's not to say it's dull, boring or whatever, but it's an easy read, and it's meant to be that because I like simplicity. And they have how-tos on every single chapter. There's a how-to. So so let's look at the belief thing and see what brilliance did I write about it. You would think I would actually have this memorized by now. I've had to go through this book so many times for formatting and stuff. You'd think I'd have it all memorized, but so okay, alrighty. How to about your beliefs. Grab a pen, a paper, write down what you believe about your life in the area of work, money, love, and sex. What's going on now with those topics, and what do you really desire? Do you believe you can have everything you desire, or is that just for other lucky people? Pay attention to the tension in your body or the emotions that come up as you ponder these questions. Go ahead and really feel what's going on. You will receive some very interesting answers. So there you go. You can take that and do something with that.
Now,
little tasty tidbit.
As a side note,
yes,
anyone who's listening, if they want to dig deeper, can they call you?
Well, anybody can call me, but you mean, can they just call me and start asking me questions?
Well,
on the
no,
phone?
not that. I mean, I guess what I'm driving at is I know that you do coaching. I know that you do private sessions.
Yes, I do.
And I keep hearing stories of even, from a short time of working with you, people have these eureka experiences. They have, they're making quantum leaps into their own development. So, the tip of the iceberg, these great resources of how to start looking at ourselves.
Yep.
That people can work with you in one at a time private sessions.
Our workshops or classes, phone
coaching with you.
Yep.
So
I do coaching on numerous topics, and my Inner Circle program, which is the big kahuna. That's my year-long program.
Right.
And we created a millionaire last year. One of the guys in business, so Tantra for Business.
Tantra for Business.
It's one of the chapters here. And, it's... the thing about it is we pretty much know nowadays that no matter who you are, coaching or accountability works. Okay? All the big name people in the world, Tony Robbins, I mean, whoever they are, they have mentors and they have coaches. And people don't really get that. You can take a workshop, you can start to do, but out of all the workshops, I mean, think about it. I mean, how many, so I went to one of those, Millionaire Mind workshops, right? So I've taken that. That's cool. I really like them.
Yeah.
And out of the room of 1,000 people, less than 2% would actually have created any change or motion from that.
Wow.
Right. You go to workshops, you go to seminars, you do that kind of thing, and, really, what have you taken away? Have you actually implemented and taken action with anything? You go to a workshop or a seminar with me, you can turn around and hop on a coaching program, not the year-long, a 3-month, a 2-month, whatever, so or some phone consults after, and stay on track. And make those changes complete, because you will change in any of my classes. I mean, I do 3 and 4 hour classes where people are crying and, oh my God, I can't believe that.
Right.
But then to continue on, to keep that change moving on. A lot of the times we just need somebody to be accountable to, and somebody that's asking us the hard questions, like I did with you guys last night.
And I'm going to recognize you here. I'm going to put you out there for a moment here, Tanya.
Whoa.
I've talked with coaches. I've interviewed coaches before. Do I want to work with you? They're, hey Josh, you should join our program. Coaches, counselors, what have you, from different layers of industry. And I have to say, of all the people that I've met in those different industries, your level of authenticity, your abilities to really connect with the individual, not just bringing, here's my coaching script. Put someone into this folder, and I can break them down, because you ask anybody these questions and they'll open up. Your authenticity coupled with your ability to really get into the mind of the person that you're working with and help them step out of where they are. I just want to recognize your talent and the gift that you are.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Well,
welcome.
I learn as much. The beautiful thing about coaching and doing these programs without a scripted format is that I learn just as much from the journey. And I found that without a scripted format, doing real custom work, absolutely personal custom work, is that it just allows me the flexibility. Sometimes I'm working with somebody and we think we're working on this issue here, and the next thing we know, we're talking about this issue that's way over here, but it's the core.
Right.
And that changes all of it. I can't possibly, I can sit down and write a program, and most people would benefit from that program. But to me, when one-on-one coaching is where you take all that off, you get the vulnerability, and you move forward. So our chat line said, okay, thanks for the advice on marriage. I'd love to get married, but this addictive behavior really makes me nervous. Yes, it should. He's really wonderful. This info only paints half the picture. Of course.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He can be a wonderful addict. There are many, many wonderful addicted people out there in the world. And, I say that and I'm laughing, but I'm saying yes. The only problem with people that are addicted is you've got to understand that the addiction is more important than anything else, and they can't help that. So as long as you're good with that, then everything's great. So what you need to understand is, you said to me here in the chat room that you're afraid your sex life is boring because he looks at porn. Okay. You have to, I've seen several wounding issues as you're going along here. For one, you'd like to get married and the addictive behavior makes you nervous. I'm telling you right now, based on my very old person that I am here, that this is probably not going to change until he hits some major thing. And at 23, it's going to be well. Will I possibly be doing a couples retreat weekend anywhere on the East Coast anytime? I will tell you, anybody that's listening can hook up with myself or my marketer, and I will let you know what it takes to get me to your city. I have people that, in fact, Chicago, right?
Yeah, we're working on Chicago.
We're looking at Chicago. I am willing and open for anybody that would like to coordinate an event for me in their city or close to their city, to work with you on helping you do that. And if you coordinate an event for me, you get to come no charge.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of benefit in doing that. So definitely go and, I don't know where you are. You're on the East Coast. If you're near Chicago, that's kind of in the works. But I'm always interested in definitely going and traveling and spreading the word. So I hope we were a little bit helpful to you. I hate to be bleak like that and just say, whoa, don't get married with the addictive behavior. But really don't, because there's a lot of addictions going on right there with smoking, gaming, porn. Yeah. So.
And if you want to go deeper, and obviously it's only part of the picture, but also we've only heard part of what's going on for you. If you want to go deeper into that, please send Tanya. Get in touch with Tanya. Have a counseling session with her, and have an opportunity to really chunk down and look into it and identify what are you really looking for.
Right, and then you've got to ask yourself too. It's like, why to be with an addict? All women that are with addicts say they're wonderful. Because the thing about addicts as a rule, or people that have these issues, is when they're on, they are on.
Absolutely.
And when they are off, they are so off. And so we live for those moments between the offs. Those on. Yeah. I had my ex was the perfect boyfriend if you didn't mind the escorts and the cheating and the drinking and the lying and the stealing and all that stuff. Other than that, he was like the perfect man. I mean, he cooked, he cleaned, he did laundry. I mean, so if you could just ignore that stuff that happened every 3 months, then life was good.
And the other side of that is that the limiting belief that I can never find someone that has these good qualities, and so I'll sacrifice myself to the bad qualities. And the reality is you will always get what you desire if you keep working on it.
And if you believe that's all you can have, that's all you're going to have. So we've got 2 minutes left. I'm going to talk about my book again just a little bit.
Tell me about
it. My book. Ooh,
she's petting her book.
Beautiful book. Beyond Sex, Tantra is the title. And this is a book about creating spiritual enlightenment, or, moving past just existing and really breaking into life. And it's available on my site, if you'd like, at learningtantra.com. Look down the left-hand side of the page. You'll see the book cover, and just click where it says click, and you can buy the book. We'll have our blog. It says we have a blog up in the book, and so we will tomorrow. Right. Tomorrow have that up, but we'll be hoping to hear some reviews on the book. And I'm going to have a huge launch March 23rd to help me hit the bestseller list at Amazon.
The launch, yeah.
So you'll be hearing more about that and how you can help out if that's something you would like to do. So drop me an email, learningtantric.com, contact me, email, enter the drawing, free book, autographed, special edition. It can be yours, shipped to your door. From my hands. It's probably been caressing the book. You got to think about that. All right, Women of Wisdom, Seattle, this weekend, 1:30 to 4:30. I will be speaking about Tantra and women. And I don't know what we're doing from there, but I'm, lots of things and stuff. Couples Intimacy weekend, first weekend of March.
Oh, wow.
A couple spaces left. All right. we'll talk to you next week.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye. Have fun.
You have
Live
been
large.
listening to the Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show with your host, Tanja Diamond. Visit our website at www.tanjadiamond.com. That's TANJA for more information on workshops and classes.